Hey pack leaders, I want to do this video to talk about leverage trapper bot versus trade bot secrets bot. They're kind of leverage trapper bot's been older. It's been like over 3 years of development. The trade bot secrets was like a strategy I thought about. Well, I was able to rank 10 with Bybit using this strategy, which I've kind of translated to the trade bot secrets. I initially wanted to do that strategy and automate that, but it just didn't come around to it. Somehow, through just coordinating with other members in the group, it kind of evolved to another realm, and they were like, "Oh, wait a minute! I actually originally wanted to do this DCA deal when it was just long-term evergreen strategy." So I kind of brought it back. It still has components from Leverage Trapper Bot, but it's just kind of like simplified to a lighter version. And I think it's great for starters to start with the trade bot secrets because it's a low barrier to entry. It's like dummy proof pretty much. Like I think you can, anyone who just wants to get their feet wet, maybe just start with just $20 rather than like a higher end leverage trapper bot. Well, way more sophisticated, a lot more stuff, needs more power to run and track. And I'll talk a little more about that as we go further on. Trade bot secrets is a starter way to go, and then there's other options that you can pick up and add if you want to add like a trap to it, so that if it's gonna like take off without you, you can put that trap in so it blows through, and then take that market order, and you won't be left. I guess this is a FOMO one, but I teach you how to apply it properly so that you don't FOMO on the very top. Okay, FOMO towards the bottom. Okay, and then with the trade bot secrets, you can also do auto run, so you can also run 24/7 without you having to be there. Okay, now I think eventually I'm feeling that we're gonna move towards AI, where all these bots and features and whatever. There are some certain situations where if we set the bot up to go this direction and it goes that direction that we intend, it's doing great. But until that changes, then it's like, okay, so there's still a little bit of management that you need to do to say, okay, I'm gonna apply it here and then wait for it to use so that you can kind of do your thing. But then you see it's high enough, you need to get out. You can click a button quickly to exit your positions and not have to type it. So you kind of use it to kind of enter and exit quickly. I just hate that when you have to set up your rungs and you have to like type it in, and every $100 enter in and $100 enter in, or you want to get out and you're trying to get out with limit and you're typing it in, and all of a sudden the price moves, you're like, dude, now I gotta type another, and it moves again, and all of a sudden it just tanks on you, and you're like, oh, now I have to chase it down the market order. And this is a tool, trade bot secrets is supposed to kind of simplify all that. Okay, and let's go ahead and move to the second one to kind of talk about the leverage trapper bot. So it's been about 3 years plus, I'd say, maybe moving on to 4 almost, and I think we pretty much nailed it down. So what it does is it follows the price motion and of the velocity and acceleration of the price. So it watches the price, it kind of tracks it, and each of these frequencies is kind of like a harmonics, right? Because there's like fractals, like little wiggles here, but then on the 5 minute, it'll be like wiggles here coming down, wiggles, and then on the on the 30 minute, there's like bigger wiggles, and like kind of thing. And so based on this, we're actually currently looking at the 30 minute right now, and we can also look a little finer, just depending on the performance, and we're testing certain things here and there. But right now 30 minutes seems to work really well for now, and if we can maybe increase our performance, we might be able to hit a little more micro trading kind of thing, get in and get out quickly, and keep scalping as we see things. Okay, and so what it's able to do is able to catch tops really well. You kind of see here where it just kind of goes in, it puts that market order, and it gets you in. And you can do with small contracts, big contracts too. I mean, we've done it with over 50,000 contracts too. So as we're testing, we want to put too much on it, but we're able to then achieve and get it in at 3145, which is right there, 3145, right in there, and then DCA in if we need to. So if it actually blows through further, we can actually pick a little more of a market, more of a limit order, wait for it to slam down, and we'll take profit right there. And it does all the calculations it needs to kind of adjust and say, hey, if it goes this high, I think it might slam down here. If it does, we'll take the profit. Otherwise, it'll actually pop in once the price motion fires again to take profit again and close out that order. Okay. And then currently, I think we have a force to take profit immediately. That seems to be doing really well for us. Okay. And all the options are there. Okay, depending on the type of risk you want to do and how much you want to make. So if you could do these high leverage, high contracts, and just do like 5-10 contracts, you can actually double that investment quite quickly. So DCA on entry and set take profit. So we just kind of talked about that. And also the rungs, as the price motion fires, it'll actually shift that rung down because it say, hey, it's kind of come down a little bit, but then it might came up and then it's gonna go down again. But you can't wait till it hits the second rung. It will just actually shift the rung down, and so you hit it so that you can DCA down in profit, so that you can then you can take that profit quicker. Okay. You can do 30x to 50x. Of course, higher the risk, that it's all a lot riskier. I think we've currently moved it down to 30x with Bitcoin, and all the altcoins are 15x, and that seems to be working a lot better. We're just taking way too much risk and trying to get it to work, and it's just that one time that takes you out or liquidate you or whatever, or get you stopped out, and it just takes it all back. So definitely lower the risk, is a little more consistent and a little more long term and a little more sustainable. Okay, and this is really best used when it's just sideways market, where it's just like you're just watching paint dry and you're just like, dude, this is so boring. This is where it shines, where everyone's just waiting around. It's just going in there scalping, with high leverage, just picking it all off. We kind of feel like we're like joking. I was like picking up quarters all the time, but it adds up. So, and then TradeBot secrets. Let's talk a little bit about that. So it basically just sets DCAs, and it's a setup as a win-win situation. The higher the volatility, the better it is, and it's best to use it for sideways and also trending up, or sideways and trending down, depending on the bias that you set. It would be long bias or short bias. Okay, and while you're in profit, it'll actually scalp and keep buying and selling, buying and selling as it's going sideways while you're in profit. Okay. So it's low leverage, it's long term, it's like 3x for altcoins, 5x for Bitcoin. And we just basically long because generally the market's going to go up unless you're in the crash phase, and this is not the tool to use. Or if you set it too short, it might work out, kind of thing. Okay. So you can see here, I'll show you here that RUNGS update as it comes up. Right now it'll probably hit this, it'll DC in, bring the profit line down a little bit, and then when it does, the take profit line also shifts down too, and then when it goes sideways, it just kind of keeps whack-whacking, sell, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high, eventually, right? So right now, I mean, the market's really slow right now, but when you use for XRP, where it's just high volatile, and it will actually be so volatile, it's actually filling all 3 or 4 of these rungs. So when you actually use the same settings and you place it on Bitcoin or Ethereum over XRP, you can see the volatility of how each one is doing. And when with XRP, I was able to make $1,000 in a day with this one. Okay. All right. So only solution here is you just buy and sell, unless the market crashes, then and it takes you out on 3x, then that's kind of it. So what we do is whatever it makes, we constantly shift money out to USDT or pull it out to cold wallet. That's kind of all we do. That's because it's always either if Bitcoin goes to the moon, then we just ride with it. Okay, and if it goes up and sideways, that's cool, up and sideways. But if it just goes up and then slams right down, way past that, down to like more than 50% correction, then it's like, all right, cool, this ain't working. But we've already moved money out, and it's actually we're on a different phase now. So that's an indication where we'd actually switch to a different bias. Alright, so we had to talk about that. We made a 1K a day on both of these bots. The leverage trapper does take a little more margin or a little more of a portfolio to get that 1K. And I would say maybe somewhere in the $10,000 portfolio to make a K a day. And this one here with XRP, we were able to make it with just $1,000 to make 1,000 a day. Okay. Now it doesn't happen all the time. It also depends on the market. If XRP isn't volatile and it's just kind of mosey on out, yeah, then it's gonna be a little hard to get that. But when XRP is just taking off, then yes, you know, it can do it. Okay, so I wouldn't say every day, just any day, or has done it any day. Okay. All right, so the leverage trapper is great when the market isn't moving much. Yeah, I think we talked about that. And it uses higher leverage, that way we can actually take advantage of the lower volatility. Okay. So that's all I have. I mean, hopefully that kind of helps kind of clarify a few things. If you're just starting out and you want to get your feet wet and kind of see how things go, then start with the leverage. You know, the TradeBot Secret is $20 a month to get started. And then if there's any other automation that you want, it's like an extra 10 here and an extra 30 there. And then if I build any other features in there, you know, depending on how long it took me to do it, probably about 10, 20, because I actually want to keep the price low as possible, much as possible. I'm starting to notice a lot of people are starting to just want to trade more than one coin, so I wanted to be able to purchase more at a lower amount, and you know, provide more value so that you can trade more coins and make more money, and then that way you can just pick up more license that way. But if the license is too high and you're not, you know, it's not doing it, then it doesn't make sense, right? So that's kind of where I see it. Okay. And then once that's done, you're like, hey, you know, this is cool. I want more. Then try out the leverage trapper bot and see how that goes for you. And sometimes the market does change. Where like right now I'm using TradeBot Secrets, and then the market is like, hey, you know, this is kind of boring. Like how I saw on ETH. I'm like, hey, maybe I'm gonna switch my leverage trapper back on and have it trade that market until things start to change. Then we'll switch back to TradeBot Secrets where it's trending up. And then we'll take it off from there. And if anything, you could probably maybe run both accounts on it. But not on the same account, but separate accounts. But TradeBot Secrets on one, leverage trapper on the other account, and either or, depending on the market, it'll do what it needs to do. Okay, and you could just maybe move money to either or, depending on what's doing better. Okay. All right, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you then, and hopefully that helped. Any comments, questions, anything, I'll leave the links below, and you can check it out there. Talk to you then.